Welcome to The Source with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry, and co-host Kobe Owens. News all across the nation. The Source. Stay in the loop in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Work together for change in the community. A call to action to find the resources. The Source, the latest in news.
Good evening. This is Dr. Curry.
This is Kobe Owens.
And welcome to The Source. We do know last week, for those of you who watch us by Channel 28 here in the local channel here in Wilmington, that we were not on the air. There was a glitch in the system, but we are back, and we hope that you will continue to watch us week after week. Kobe, it's been an interesting week. But before we get into any of the national stuff, I do want to talk about the one reported shooting that occurred in the city on Tuesday night, a 13-year-old. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, so again, like you said, it was a 13-year-old child who was shot. The incident happened around 9:59 p.m. Tuesday night. In the 700 block of West 5th Street. That's lower Hilltop area, down bottom. That's the 5th Councilmatic District. He was transported to the hospital in stable condition. And as of right now, there's been no additional details on what led to that shooting.
Yeah, but what was kind of troubling to me, and I'm very grateful the child is still alive, but what was really troubling to me is that the child reported that it was struck several times.
Yes.
So I'm trying to figure out, you said it's down the bottom of
Lower Hilltop.
Lower Hilltop,
Mhm.
5th District. Whose district is that?
Christian Wilhauer.
So is that normally a troubled? When I say troubled, I mean with violence.
It is. It is. It's an
Okay.
area that has been struggling to address some of the violence in that area. Think the Wilmington Hicks Anderson Center is close to that area.
Okay, I know exactly. where
Right
you're at now.
across from it. Adams Ford is in that area as
Okay.
well too.
Okay.
So between that West Center City and Lower Hilltop area.
That's interesting. And when they found, I wish we had more information to talk about, that they found the child. But, I'm trying to think, what could have, how could people be silent when a child has been hurt? I'm not saying that maybe they have more information now, but I'm just more baffled that a 13-year-old child shot several times. To God be the glory that he did not.
Now I know there was multiple police calls made in from neighbors.
Okay.
But I don't think they knew that someone was shot, and they definitely didn't know it was a 13-year-old.
Also, they called in saying that there was
a shooting, and when the cops got there,
that's when they discovered.
That's when they discovered it was a 13-year-old who had been shot.
Yeah, well, I hope we can get some more information on that. And again, I'm told that the child is in stable condition, so that's thank God for that. And but a 13-year-old, and you said around 10 o'clock at night, so yeah, I'm trying to think. 13-year-old child
should not be outside at that time.
Yeah, but again, 13-year-old children sometimes are grown-ups.
That's true.
But that's we just gonna have to follow that. But again, the city seems to be a little bit more safer. Across the country, Democratic cities are starting to report way more safety.
Yes.
It's becoming way more safe than it has been reported in the past. I know I was happened to see an interview done with Wes Moore just this week, and he was talking about how Baltimore, which was one of there was so much crime going on, but it's now turning to be one of the cities that had the most reduced violence over the past year. And what are you doing differently? Because they often label liberals as saying just do what you want to do.
So I think the mayors in those cities, I really give hats off to all of them who have been really working not only with law enforcement but with community as well too, to bring more sense of community and safety to those neighborhoods. And it's not just Baltimore; it's a lot of this minority-led cities throughout America, the larger cities that have seen this turnaround. They saw it in 2025, and hopefully it continues throughout 2026. But Baltimore is still a target of the Trump administration.
Oh, yes.
Regardless of their record reduction in crime, so is Philadelphia. Philadelphia saw a 200% decrease in violent crime this past year, and Trump is still saying that he's considering sending the National Guard.
I didn't hear him talk much about Philadelphia, but but he is.
And I will say, Sherrell Parker has changed Philly.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a
um,
Lincoln thing, but I'll let you have it your way in that. Go ahead.
Mayor Scott, Byron Scott down
Yeah.
in Baltimore
Baltimore.
has
Yes.
changed
Yes.
Baltimore.
I
I
think that's
know
a
there's
Morgan thing. So we
there-
just had an HBCU thing. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
there's a joke that the more hood the neighborhood, the better the food is going to be. And anyone who knows me knows I go into some places that are a little iffy, but the food's amazing.
Yeah.
And the last few times I visit some of my favorite places in both those cities,
Mhm.
you can visibly see the difference.
Mhm.
It's cleaner out there as well too. So again, they're not just working on how do we stop the shootings,
Mhm.
but how do we improve quality of life.
Yeah,
And I
which
think
is
that's a
important.
good focus to
Well, it
have.
kind of supports a lot of people who said to you who are liberals like to give the city away, but it kind of support y'all narrative, and that is if you give them um, good community policing, it does better for the whole community.
Correct.
Not just saying don't stop crime. We're saying we're going to stop crime, but we're going to do it as a partnership.
Right.
And I think it's kind of like buying into that. And I think you all need to push that a little bit more now that we are really seeing a real serious reduction. And I mean, here in Wilmington, while we don't want any crime, but we're seeing a real reduction in crime.
Yes.
For us to talk about one shooting, it's horrible that the young child was 13 years old, but the reduction of crime is just remarkable. And I'm very grateful for that.
And we're more than a few days into New Year's.
Yeah.
Even at this point in 2025, there have been multiple shootings
Right.
already. So while I'm not grateful that only one person's been shot, I am saying that we're on a better trajectory to start the year off at least.
And a lot of it has to do with the mayors.
Yes.
And I joke a lot about HBCUs, especially Sherelle, who's a very personal friend of mine. But even in Maryland, that's an HBCU graduate as well. But that's more of the joke. But it has a lot to do with the personality of the mayor. That will reflect it. The mayor is only interested in building hot skyscrapers, only interested in making sure that their billionaire friends are taken care of. Then that's going to be reflected in the poverty of the city where most of the poor people are living. And I think now that when you got a person like a Parker sitting in Philadelphia saying, you know what, we're not going to let Kensington look like this. We're not going to go down like that. As a matter of fact, one of the first things she did was she went in and started cleaning up.
Yeah.
Cosmetically, that mattered, but it also changed the mentality.
Yep.
So I'm very happy, and I'm glad to see that those who criticized, those of you who are liberals, they have criticized you all, saying that y'all just want to give the city away. Y'all just don't want nothing good for the city. We need to crack down on this crime. You're saying no. We believe in policing. We believe in and safer communities, but it has to be done as a joint effort.
Yes.
Not as let me just be your boss, let me be your God, and just go over your head. So I think that's really good. But I'm grateful that we are doing very well at this point, and I'm grateful for the other cities that are doing well.
Yeah, and again, you're never going to police your way out of anything, right? Think about you raising your kids. When you tell your kid no, are they always going to listen to you when you say no? No. But if you can show them why not to do something and that you can do something else, it's more likely they'll stop doing that action that you didn't want them to do.
Absolutely. Another thing I wanted to grab today as we are looking at the various things that are happening in and around our city and state is that we've been talking a whole lot about the task force that was put together by the governor, and now we're getting ready to start this whole selection of schools, and I guess it's called the choice application process, and it opens up on January the 14th. You have any more?
It closes.
Oh, it closes.
It closes.
Okay, so I had some bad. Matter of fact, it does say it on my notes. It says closes. It's open now. So because a lot of people have been hearing a whole lot about the what do you say, the concern. I can't say the word.
Consortium.
The consortium. I couldn't even say the word. Because people were talking a whole lot about it, I don't want people to be confused. They still have to go do this choicing for right now. Until something changes, they need to follow the regular. So I wanted to bring that to us today. So what is your suggestion that people do?
So either under one school district, right? There will still probably be some type of choice program available. So this, again, if you're looking to shift your family, your student, outside of the traditional feeder pattern school that they're supposed to go to, then you can use the choice program to do that, right? So either if you're in the same school district, but you don't let's say you want your kid to go to PS, but they were assigned to Crawcroft, you can choice them into PS, right?
Okay.
If there's spaces available.
Hmm.
Um, the choice portal closes at midnight, January 14th. That's this upcoming Wednesday, January 14th. And after that, it becomes very difficult to change schools for the upcoming school year, for the 2026-2027 school year. Again, charters, votex, and magnets do not feel as results of through the choice program, so they can still accept applications after that. But families, again, you can submit for multiple schools, multiple districts, but you need a separate application for each individual student in your household.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you have two students and you want them both to go to a different school, you have to fill out two separate applications for both of them. I know that was a huge issue these past few years.
Okay.
Families thought they just had to fill out one and moved all the kids.
Mhm.
And it says very clearly on the portal, this is for one student. Um, some districts require extra documentation, even some of the ones up here. So I would also, if you are thinking about it, go on the website early
Mhm.
just to take a look at it. And then, if you do make that decision, you'll know everything you want. Um, then after that, there's a choice lottery. That's when, um, I believe by the end of February, you'll get a notification about this lottery. And then if you get selected for the choice school that you picked, you have it till the end of March. It's like March 15th ish, to make a decision if you truly want to put your kid in that school. Again, if you apply to multiple schools, you may have two options or something like that. So, um, you can only accept one if you get,
Absolutely.
you know.
Can't do all three of them, right?
But again, Christina, Christina, Cesar Rodney, Appo, Delmar, Indian River, Milford, and Seaford school districts already have near capacity wait lists, which means a lot of people are trying to choice into those areas.
Christina?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Is just Wilmington schools was messed up? Because that's a district. Every time I hear that, it's like cancer.
People want to go to their high schools though.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. And then also Academia Antonio Alonso, Academy of Dover, Campus Community, Newark Charter, and Sussex Academy Charter schools are also all expecting to have to do a lottery this year and have wait lists, because they've seen such a huge application pool this
They're
year.
the best of the charters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you miss the deadline, it becomes very difficult to try to change. But there are some mechanisms that are exemptions. So if a change in the child's residence due to a change in family residence, a change in a state in which the family resides, so if you're just locating to Delaware, a change in the child's parents' marital status, a
Mhm.
divorce, and the parents move to two different areas, change in guardianship proceeding, placement into child care or into foster care, adoption, participation by a child in a foreign exchange program, reported, recorded, and sustained instance of bullying against their child as defined by Section 4161 of the state title, or participation by a child in a substance abuse or mental health treatment program, will allow them to get as exemption to move in the middle of the school year.
Right. Now, earlier you had shared that they should go and check the portal early.
Yes.
I want to change that language a little bit. They should have already checked it, and they need to check it now
Yes.
because it's already late. You only have until Wednesday, to my understanding,
Correct.
to make this happen. So, for those of you who are watching us, we're asking that you please go ahead and just invest in your child. Give your child the best opportunity possible while we're trying to sift through the things that we are recommending with the state. I think it's going to be important that you give them the best opportunities as possible to
Mhm.
make that happen. So I wanted to bring that up, and I'm glad that we were able to do that. The only thing that I'm concerned about with this is that we still have a lot of our young people who are going into schools that don't want them, and
That is
that's
true.
just sad. But but parents want the best for their children. But
Hmm.
when a school doesn't really want you, then what it does is it suspends you. It creates all kind of problems for you.
It does, and I think we saw that very much highlighted
Yeah.
during the Reading Consortium debate, especially in Brandywine School District. But we know this is it's not uncommon in the other three school districts as well too. Um, for those again, just before I forget, the website is schoolchoicede.org.
Yeah, we ask that you please
Um,
put that on the screen as we are talking about it, but give it to us again.
School Choice. Uh, CHOICE. I had to look at choice
Yeah.
because I mess it up all the time. DE.org.
School
And that's
choice.
the website. But yeah, going back to disciplinary issues and how students are treated different, how some of these teachers and administrators, they don't want inner city kids, or they don't want minority kids in their school.
Yeah.
They write them off before they even get in the door.
Right. Yeah. And one of the things I've noticed with their disciplinary issues recently is that if, let's say, for example, if the two children get into a fight, one child is just defending themselves. They don't know how to decipher the difference,
Yeah.
and they're just suspending both of them, saying, "Well, y'all shouldn't been fighting. I supposed to let somebody just beat me to death."
Right.
It's just really sad. I hope that whatever comes out of this group, the recommendation is accepted by the state and that accountability is held at all
Mhm.
levels, not just on the academic level, but on the conduct level, on the disciplinary level. All of those things has to happen so that we can have a productive schools district. And the same way we turn the city around with the violence, we can turn it around with poverty, we can turn it around with education if we get the good education system rolling the way, because all of our children can learn and they're very
Mhm.
smart. All you gotta do is say a rap song that they like and you'll see. Matter of fact, in our office, some of our young people are teaching me some new stuff. Language I never heard of. And some of this
Mhm.
language is just like shocking me. But they learn all of that and they know all of that. But when they're not exposed to the appropriate things and people are not taking them serious, they forfeit the other things. So we'll take care of it. Last thing I want to really grab today is something dear and near to my heart because I get angry every time we talk about it, and that's dealing with the unhoused population.
Mhm.
Um, I'm grateful that there's some movement. Okay, we don't ever want to seem ungrateful. It's not enough movement.
Right.
Okay, I've been hearing some rumors. I don't know any of this, and whatever you don't know as well, Kobe. But I've been hearing rumors that there are some developers who are talking about the Palmer Center. I personally have been very much vocal that if we're going to do anything with the Palmer Center, it needs to
Mm.
be given some given to our unhoused population. But I've been hearing rumors that they may be thinking about finding a way to do some more luxury apartments, and they got some developers who are very much interested in that. Before I even give you an opportunity to say anything about that, let me just say my opinion on that. I
Mhm.
think that it's outright wrong. I hope that the mayor, I don't know who's in charge of these
It's
negotiations.
the state.
Oh, it's the state. Oh, well, then I hope Governor Myers will really clearly recognize that our unhoused population is there not as a fault of themselves, but as a fault of how the state, the city, the county have not been able to put a hold on rent prices, not pass legislation to make living in Delaware affordable.
Mhm.
Kobe, I saw people there who weren't mentally distraught. I saw people there who weren't, I just want to live outside in the wild. I saw people there who want to live in peace, who want to have a shelter over their head. And for us to keep believing that everybody who is unhoused, everybody who is homeless,
Mhm.
and even though the language have changed from homeless to unhoused, I kind of, and I think I understand why they did that, but I like the homeless piece only because they're put there.
Yeah.
They're put in that condition. But I think that would be a sellout to humanity,
Mhm.
to the poor, if they let themselves build more luxury apartments. I heard some of the complaints or some of the reasons why it would be a very good idea. One of the reasons I heard is because we want to make sure that we are continuously building our city. building up the city so we can attract people who are cultural and things that, even though we don't have a lot of cultural stuff going on here, but then they are saying they can even continue to bring in more cultural things. I disagree. We have to take care of the unhoused. We have to take care of the homeless. We have to take care of those individuals who don't choose to be in this. Now, there are some things we disagree on, such as I don't agree that if I'm trying to help you, you tell me I don't want your help and I got to leave you alone. I understand about why that law came out. I don't know exactly. You when you start talking, I'm sure you're going to correct me in a lot of areas. But what I do know about that is, while it is not fair to put sane people in unsane conditions, because that's what they were doing. They was just
Right.
generalizing people. So they made it where if I don't want your help, you don't have to. But it's causing some of the people who don't want to help the unhoused to use as an excuse. The reason why we can't help is because they don't want to help, and a lot of them have never been approached for help. But they're hiding behind that. So we got to figure out how we can make sure what they did with Hope Center, not Hope Center, Hope, what is it called? Hope Center?
Hopes.
Yeah. What they did with the Hope Center, we're going to have to be able to do it for the unhoused population too. We need services. We need a facility. Out there in that cold, Kobe, it's not fair. I was giving out stuff for Christmas in the cold and I almost freeze to death. They are living, sleeping, eating in that environment. That's not fair. So I know I did a lot of talking on that, but I'll give you an opportunity to share what you want to share, and then I'll come right back to that.
Yeah, no. So everyone has the right to deny services, and that's been upheld by numerous federal courts, and I believe the Supreme Court as well too. That someone that is their First Amendment right to be able to deny services. And there's been all different types of things. You can't force people into things based upon our Eighth Amendment right, which is cruel and unusual punishment for you not having a job, for being homeless, for whatsoever. It's all protected. So that's where that comes from. When talking about the Plumber Center and what's going on there are individuals who are interested in that land there. And I'll say that because I'll be honest, it's very hard to come by open land in the city of Wilmington right now, right? And that's a common point with most cities right now. We have overdeveloped almost everywhere throughout America. But right now, you think about it, right? The Plumber Center is 71,000 square feet, right? If it closes and it's sold to a developer, they could come in, demolish that, and that's 71,000 square feet of open land that they can build apartment buildings or that they can build housing on, and they can pretty much do whatever they want. If that is going to be the plan, because the city does not have as much of a say unless it has to go to zoning. It is a state-owned property. They can sell it to whoever. Hopefully, they work with us that if Plumber is going to close, that they at least give us the ability to have some say on what's going to be there. Because regardless of what's going to be there, it's going to take city resources, EMS, police, public works, parks and recs. Everything's going to have to come into play, right? It's going to have a huge impact on us. I do not believe it should be luxury apartments, right? I've been very vocal about this. Any development in the area, not just at the Plumber, needs to be affordable for the working class that is currently in the area, right? Because we've lost the ability to do starter homes. If they want to build a bunch of starter homes there, okay, maybe. But we've lost the ability to do starter homes right now. You have generations of people who are now having 3 and 4 roommates in a 2-bedroom apartment because they can't afford to live separately in little old Wilmington, Delaware. You have people who are charging Philadelphia prices here in the city of Wilmington. In some cases more, right? So for the housing stock that we do have, it's not a lot. So in regards to the opportunity for housing, oh yeah, it's opportunity there. but it shouldn't be luxury apartments. It shouldn't be apartments that cost $2,100 for a studio or $2,400 for a studio. It should be something attainable for the community. Now, I've been very vocal about keeping the Plumber Center. And that's not just my own opinion, right? I, of course, personally, I support keeping a Plumber Center. But when the residents of the civic association that surrounds the Plumber Center came forth with a petition asking to keep the Plumber Center open, that just added fuel to my fire. To continue to advocate for the voice for my community, for something that happens in my community with the Plumber Center. Now, also the need for a work release program is going to be essential for the state of Delaware, and I think moving it to Sussex is just a bad mistake. But um, under this administration, for DOC, there has been a ton of complaints of discrimination, retaliation, and just mismanagement when it comes to overseeing the black officers, correctional officers, but then also the residents as well too. So we have a lot of work to do when it comes to plumber. But I believe that if they're saying plumber is in such a bad condition, then a new facility needs to be built in Newcastle County,
Yeah.
in the Wilmington area.
I don't think that they're saying, and I could be wrong, but I don't think they're saying that it's in bad condition. I think they're saying is that it's underused.
So it's a little bit of both, right? So it has the capacity to have 200 people
Right.
housed there. Currently, well, a few in December, it was 81 people housed there. But that's also because of judging sentencing, not because people don't qualify for work release. Two, the big reason why they want to shut it down is because they don't want to pay the $1.3 million for capital improvements there, which mainly is the HVAC system that they have put off for a few years now. And they just don't want to put that money into it. Now, I will say, they try to say it's the oldest facility in the hands of the DOC. That is a half truth. There is a building there that is the oldest building in Department of Corrections whole arsenal of buildings, right? They haven't used that building in years, almost a decade now. The other buildings were built in the 80s, and to hear the commissioner and the deputy commissioner talk about it, they call these buildings ancient. And I'm like, yeah, the 80s ain't that long ago,
It is not.
because the 90s was just like yesterday.
Yeah.
So again, they know exactly what they're saying and how they're saying it to try to put the perception out there. But let's be very honest. The one building, the next oldest building there was built in 1987.
Yeah.
It's not an old facility.
Okay. Yeah. And last but certainly not least, in that area, we need, if they're going to use it, I think they can use it if you want to satisfy the community and say, you know what, let's keep this center here. Let's fix this center up, but then let's do half for half. Let's do half of it for the population that is doing transitional from the street to a place to live safe, and then from a place to live to working in the world. Some of the services will probably already be there to be able to help them. I'm not telling them to put them in a prison, but I'm saying give them the feel of being able to have their own private space that is warm in the winter and cool in the summer. That's so there's creative ways we can make things happen if people want to. I think that has to be the new cry. Even if the community says they want something, I'm for that. But what I'm not for is saying let's keep it and then is a big burden to the state as it relates to the nobody's there. I hear you. I didn't hear that argument as much as I've just heard it, but I want to make sure that we can still help our homeless population. How many people do we have over there in Tent City? About 77, I heard.
No, that just this weekend there was more tents that popped up. I would say they're over 100 now.
Over
they're
100.
Probably over 100.
Okay.
I know I saw at least 10 new tents.
Okay.
And then now there's some on the other side of the bridge as well too. So yeah, I think they're over 100.
With the new agreement with the city, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Friendship House, Kim Eppenheimer, who sat on the task force with us, her organization already does Code Purple, which is Once it gets to a certain under 20 degrees, they open up shelters for individuals to come in and warm up throughout the night. It operates from 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. I've volunteered there for maybe about 3 years now, or 4 years now, as one of their overnight people. So I'll stay there just to make sure nothing happens, play games, play spades, and help provide some food. They have volunteers that come in and cook food. We just hand it out. I don't have to do any cooking.
Can you cook?
I can cook.
Okay, well,
I can
don't
cook.
act like
Not sides though.
Oh,
I can
okay.
only do the main dishes.
Something that keeps you healthy.
But yeah, no, they do a lot of good work, and they're coming in to be like the service provider for that area and bring some structure. A few of the big things is porta potties will hopefully be there tomorrow, and then it'll be the trailer ones, not the individual blue ones and green ones, but the trailer ones that are more stable and everything. As well as uniform tents as well too, with number placards. That's their next big thing. So I think they're starting with 100 tents.
Okay.
They'll each have a number on them, and what that will do is help for emergencies. So
you know which number to go to.
there has been instances where the police or the EMS have been called over there, and because all the tents look alike, but there's no way to really distinguish which one needs help, they go to the wrong tent or something like that. So it will be just like we have house numbers. That's what house numbers are for. That's what the tent numbers will be for. The tents will be uniform and better suited for the weather.
Doesn't mean they can live in those conditions.
It doesn't mean that they can live in those conditions, but it's a tougher material. It's better to use against, water, rain resistance, snow resistance. It's not going to be the snow tents. I will clarify that, but it is a step forward. But I will say this again, that I truly believe that everyone deserves four walls and a roof to keep you out of the elements.
Okay.
So again, they are taking some steps. This is a new agreement, a 1-year agreement, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Smiles are powerful. A simple smile can light up a whole room. And for 25 years, Smile Train has been lighting up the world with smiles. And each smile marks a step towards a brighter future. As the world's largest cleft lip and palate charity, Smile Train has supported more than 2 million life-changing cleft surgeries in over 90 countries, leaving a legacy of resilience, joy, and beaming smiles for generations of children. To learn more about cleft lips and palates and how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community all over the world, please visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, lighting up the world with smiles for 25 years.
Join us live for our weekly worship. Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
Life can throw a lot at us, but what helps us through it is knowing we have a place where we feel loved, grounded, and safe. A place where we belong. A place called home. But for thousands of youth living on the streets, there's no such thing as home. Out here, it's a predatory world that can destroy lives forever. At Covenant House, we care for homeless and at-risk youth. working in communities just like yours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Here, these kids will get a shower, clean clothes, nourishing meals, and a safe place to sleep. Our caring staff teach life skills, offer stability, and encourage kids to believe in themselves so they stay off the streets for good. We're committed to giving lost, scared, and hurting children a place to go, a place to call home. To help or get help, go to safeplacetosleep.org.
One more time before you wake up in the wild. In your eyes, I see a flower slowly dying.
Together with the Nature Conservancy, you have the power to make a difference. For unspoiled nature, for beautiful wildlife, and for people everywhere. Together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive.
Oh, in the wild, you're gonna make it. The moonlight is here to take you.
Our natural world needs us now. Every day, we lose more lands, waters, and the wild species that depend on them. To learn more, visit nature.org today.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible, but when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
And we're back. Kobe, what's going on with the Kobe Corner?
Yeah, so your president has abducted, kidnapped, woke up and stolen.
Barack Obama did that? Really?
Donald Trump.
Oh, I thought you said my president. Okay.
Stole the Venezuelan leader to bring him to justice.
And freed another one who was doing
freed another one.
Yeah.
Again, Maduro is calling himself a prisoner of war. Donald Trump has either talked about potentially putting boots on the ground in Venezuela. Many on both sides of the aisle, Democrat and Republican, have condemned this action and voiced deep concerns on what could happen when it comes to this. The UN Rights Office has also voiced their concerns for their operation in Venezuela, warning that it's a clear undermine of a fundamental principle of international law.
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump praises it as it was the most brilliant operation ever, led by himself. So we will see what happens. They said that at least 24 Venezuelan soldiers were killed by the U.S. during this attack.
Oh, really? See, I didn't hear that. Okay.
And then the Cuban government has also announced that 32 members of their country's army was killed by U.S. strikes in Venezuela as well, too. So again, this is getting at least two nations even more enraged with us.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is going to be very interesting as we keep going forward and hearing about what is going on. Donald Trump has stated that they are going to place someone else in charge of another country. But until they do that, they are going to run the country, which how they do that, I have no clue. So it's
He can't
going to
even run
be
America. How is he
he,
going to run
he
another country?
can't he can't
Yeah.
and that's going to be very interesting. But this isn't uncommon for Donald Trump in his lawless society that he calls a administration. And speaking of that, um, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, ICE agents who only have the authority to deal with non citizens, which means you were not born here, you do not have a social security card, you're undocumented, has executed a U.S. citizen. Um, and this comes after she was trying to get into her own neighborhood. She was blocked from getting into her neighborhood. So as she was trying to turn, the agents felt as though she was using her car as a weapon and fired upon her. Now, it is illegal to shoot at a moving vehicle. They broke state law and federal law. Christy Nome, the Homeland Security Director, she had a press conference where she defended the actions. She came out in her little cowboy hat and everything, even though she was never a cowboy and never wore that before going full MAGA. Donald Trump came out in support, saying that it was domestic terrorism. And this 37-year-old woman has lost her life due to this.
Yeah. And the kid who is 6, he lost his father just a couple of years earlier. So now he's orphaned totally.
Thousands filled the streets in Minneapolis last night, or the other night after the shooting, and they have continued to stay in the streets. On Fox News, because again, I watch all news stations, they were joking about it's always Minneapolis, poking at the fact that under Trump's last administration, the global protests started after George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis, Minnesota. There's a real issue here. There's a real issue here. Federal agents across this nation are running rampant, being vigilantes, mistreating people for the sole purpose that they believe that they are doing the right thing because their president said they're doing the right thing. I did not agree with the Obama administration or the Biden administration on their deportation policies, but something that did not happen, a U.S. citizen was not killed under neither one of them. Families were not separated and held in inhumane detention facilities under either one of them. We as a nation have to come up with a more morally just, humane immigration system. And I say this knowing that it upsets a lot of people, but I'll be honest. My ancestors were not immigrants. We were stolen. And we were brought over here on ships in shackles. The people who brought us over here, of course, there was no immigration process. They just came over here, they raped and killed the Native Americans and stole their land, and then forced African Americans and other minorities to build on these lands and build this country up. As we go forward, you have Ellis Island, where all you had to do was come through there, you get a stamp, you get welcomed into America. That is no longer. The vast majority of undocumented people in this country are people who overstay their visa from European countries. But yet, time and time again, it is those who are demonized who are of darker skin color, and that is sad.
Yeah.
Donald Trump knows about our immigration system very well. It's one of the things that I will actually give him credit for. His current wife was an undocumented immigrant who overstayed her visa and was here illegally when she married Donald Trump. But again, because of her light skin color, it is okay for her. We as a nation needs to do better. And it is time that individuals who are in Democratic leadership stop with the dog and pony shows and actually fight back against this administration. we'll see what happens next. I will be very honest with you. I criticized Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, and Jim Clyburn for when they did the kente cloth um, veils and took a knee for George Floyd when they had the ability to pass the George Floyd Injustice Policing Act. The Democrats had leadership, and people like Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema made sure that that policing act did not get passed. And now we have Donald Trump back in power, who is saying that regardless of policing actions, he will always defend them, even though on January 6th, he sent his mob, 2021, he sent his mob to go kill police, and they did. He has pardoned most of them, and I know we just had the 5-year anniversary the other day of
And
January
celebrated.
6th,
Mhm.
and they celebrated what happened on that
Yeah.
day. So again, he talks out both sides of his mouth. But over these next few weeks, I'm sure we will be seeing more actions come about, more people talk about this. There's been numerous bills filed in other states to stop this. Here in Delaware, we have one that will stop ICE agents from going into places of worship, into schools, without pre-approval from the state attorney general, who is currently Kathy Jennings. That bill is HB 94. I'm asking for everyone to reach out to their state rep and state senator and ask them to support this bill, to make sure that we are protecting our safe havens and protecting places that these type of politics should not be taking place in. Sorry I talked so long on that one.
Well, no, that's understandable. And I was going to just add to that they have really taken a position against our the ICE have taken a position. The president has taken a position, as well as the woman who's in charge, that this woman was really vicious.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to their language, Trump said he's surprised the man is still alive. And the man, even when he walked away when the car passed him, he was able to put his gun back in his holster and move on. He went to the hospital, and he was not really harmed in any kind of way. I'm gonna, we're not gonna take a break, but I'm gonna ask that the folks in the back room there play this video, because I want them to see literally what happened. Because I hear Fox News, I hear the conservatives, I hear the liberals, but the truth of the matter is she should not have been shot the way she was.
Yeah.
And I don't care how they spin it. We know the law. The law says that you're not supposed to shoot in a moving car. It was not. She tried to back up first
Mm-hmm.
to get out of the way, and it looks like they just got out of their car. They were hostile to her, so she's trying to get herself together. Probably, we don't know. But what I do know is that the way she was shot was unbelievable. A 6-year-old son is now a motherless and a fatherless. I don't think they really care. I think they really don't care. And for Trump to make these statements so boldly, it speaks to the fact that he is anti-law. He is anti-law, and I'm very hurt about it. Just look at this real quickly. I want y'all to look at this. Now, see, after looking at that, I hope all of y'all will pay attention and be very specific. Enough is enough. We're playing games. Now, Kobe did not agree with Obama's deportation policies. I kind of did. And I'm going to be honest with you, because I think that some of the things that were going on, we were letting too many people in our country. And I'm not saying they take any jobs from us, because that's not why I kind of agree with it. But one thing for sure, we did not have the hostility. We did not treat people as if they were inhumane. And he deported millions of undocumented immigrants, and we had none of this. This guy is a pony show. He wants to make sure that everybody know his name and everybody's know that he's the boss and he's in charge. but enough is enough. So I didn't mean to take up your time, but I wanted to throw that in there so they could see themselves, just in case they didn't get a chance to see on regular TV, and it depends on what spin people are looking at, you know.
That's true also.
So I'll just leave it there. But go ahead, Kobe. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sticking with the federal level because they are very busy right now. There has been a vote that has passed. A discharge position was first that was signed late last year by 4 Republicans and joined all the Democrats in order to get a bill on the floor that will revive the Obamacare subsidies that extended at the end of last year and expand those out for 1 year. That bill, because of the discharge position, it had to be voted on the floor to release the bill for the final vote. The House voted 221 to 205, with all Democrats voting in favor and 9 Republicans voting in favor. Again, this was against the wishes of Mike Johnson, who said it was an absolutely non-starter, and it has officially passed the House as of Thursday. Those Republicans who voted for it was Republican Mike Lawler from New York, Robert Brescian, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Ryan McKenzie from Pennsylvania. Those were the 4 who signed the discharge petition. They all voted for it. The other 5 who voted for it was Maria Salazar from Florida, Nick LaLota from New York, David Viodo from California, Thomas Keene from New Jersey, and Matt Miller from Ohio. All 9 of them are in very competitive districts and are all flippable seats if there's a blue wave this year.
But the problem I'm still facing, you only name 1 Republican from Florida.
Yes.
How could that be when the majority of the people who are on ACA is from Florida?
It's not just the majority of people from Florida. They do have a very high percentage, but again, they are voting against the best interests of their district because the insurance companies are so strong in states like that who fund their campaign.
But if the people voting for you, you don't need their funding.
That's true. In the U.S. Senate, it's an uphill battle. They have to get to 60 votes, which means 13 Republicans have to come on board. Freshman Senator Bernie Moreno from Ohio, who beat Sherrod Brown in 2024, thanks to Elon Musk. I will say I have not been a fan of his so far, but he has taken this up because the working class in Ohio is struggling right now. I was out there this past August, and he is trying to work in a bipartisan way to bring in more Republican senators. He is working with Senator Jean Shaheen from New Hampshire, who's retiring, to try to get the votes on this. I believe he has 5 as of right now, 5 other Republicans, so that makes 6. So they need 7 more. And it's going to be an uphill battle for them.
Yeah, no, we'll see.
Lastly, city update. So city council is back. The General Assembly comes back Tuesday, sorry. And both of them are getting right to work. The city, we're already in budget talks as we get ready for that budget vote, probably at the end of April, beginning of May. But we have a ton of stuff on our agenda this year. Just like last year, I made it my point to really focus in on housing and affordability. I will be introducing an ordinance that creates a city-run rental assistance program to help people stay in their homes. Councilman Alex Hackett is introducing an ordinance that will create a first and last month payment program for individuals who are renting, understanding that the vast majority of the city are renters, and we've seen high prices going up. One of the things about that is, for my piece of legislation, is it would cover up to 4 months at a cap at $1,500 per month to try to help our residents, especially our lowest income residents, to be able to pay their rent. and stay in their homes. Things are very difficult. That's up to $6,000 in a 12-month range for you to do that. And how I'm going to try to save some costs with it is by using allowing it to be bidded out to a third-party contractor to do that work, so that we don't have to bring on additional staff and benefits and stuff like that. But again, it's about helping our residents. Councilwoman Christian Willhauer is introducing eviction protection legislation, as well as some additional funds. She's asking for some additional funds to help individuals who are still going through the reassessment process to be able to get waivers for a certain amount of their taxes to be taken off, so that people aren't losing their taxes. We're still trying to work on legislation that and working with the state as well too, to make sure individuals who are in the mortgage process who've seen an increase, that they're protected. But again, you're not just paying your taxes to your broker, you're paying your full mortgage. So if you become default there, then they can take you to foreclosure. So we have to work hand in hand to figure out the best path forward that way. So yeah, that is what we're working on right now. And going forward, we will see what happens with it. But we are happy to be back. Feel free to stop out to meetings. Our meetings are the first and third Thursdays of every month. In January, we had to do the second and third because the first Thursday was January 1st. And I don't think any of my council colleagues was going to be working that day. But we are back, and we're here to work for you.
Well, that's good. And as we're closing out our show today, Kobe, I just want to say that I had the opportunity to go through some of the applications that we received for the affordable senior housing here in South Bridge that Isaiah Fair has, and I was hurt. Kobe, I did not know that there's some seniors. I'm never going to expose people to information, but there are some seniors who are living off of $30 a month, meaning that their income may be $1,700 a month, but they're paying rent. One person said to me, not to me, but to the as a tenant, the landlord, that this is an excellent tenant, and blah 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 blah, and the reason for departing is just too expensive for her. I would love to keep her. I just feel really bad that we are not understanding that it is too expensive to live in Wilmington, in Delaware. And I really think, the affordability, I had a good meeting with State Representative Cook. I got to be very honest with you. I had a very good meeting with him, and he's ready to help me. We're going to try to build some more of them and do because I'm tired of hearing affordability without people clarifying what they mean. To live in South Bridge, because of those apartments over there in the those expensive apartments, and they make good money. The average income is too high, and you're still going to be charging a lot of money for rent. But I think things should be based on income. And that's what we did with our housing. We based it on their income. So, for example, if they had $1,000 income, then, $330 would be your rent. So you can live. So you can, just halfway live. First of all, I don't see how people can live off of that, but they do. But when I saw how much money some of the seniors are paying their landlord and how much money they're bringing in, they're one step from being unhoused. Unfair. We have to move in a direction where we are taking care of the people who are poor.
Yeah.
We have to. And while I don't believe in giving everything away, there's some lazy people. I do agree with that, but we're going to have to find a way to help those who need. And right now, the way I'm doing it with the seniors, it seems like it's working because we did the interview process, we did the application process, but it's bothering me that they are being robbed and raped to the level that they are by the cost. How could you know a person is only making $1,700 and you charging them $1,600 for rent? How could that be? How could we even allow that to happen? That's not even human, and it's not fair. So I'm going to be meeting with some more legislators and seeing how we can go ahead and just build some more of these to help our senior. I'm big on the seniors. So I apologize. I'm not saying the younger people, because if you're a baby or you're a senior, you're in my corner. I'm with you. But we got to look at the poor, period, and do better at it. So I don't have anything else. Is there anything else you have on your corner?
That's all I have on my side.
Well, Cable, I thank you so very much. I thank all of you so very much for continuously watching us week after week. And I hope that you'll tell somebody to watch us on Channel 28 or YouTube. You can even watch us on Facebook because I'm on our website because we have it all over the place. But I do want to make sure we get a chance to just share with you every week the various things that are happening in and around town. If you got any suggestions or anything like that, send us an email. We'll try our best to update it. Colby, thank you so very much. And you said there's nothing else from you?
That's all I have.
Well, that's all you have. Y'all have a good day, y'all.
Take care, y'all.
You've been watching The Source with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Kobe Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes.